On this Wednesday afternoon at the World Ultimate Club Championships, we are reaching a crescendo. There are a few remaining spots in the mixed division quarterfinals up for grab. And this afternoon, we've got the #1 seed from the United States of America, Seattle Mixtape, last year's Triple Crown champions on the USA Ultimate Club Tour, against Great Britain's Black Eagles. Evan Lepler, Liam Grant along with you for this mixed division battle. And we're still catching our breaths from what we just watched, the last round, a couple of universe point games, high drama and high stakes. And that's certainly no different with this matchup here. Black Eagles, they've been thirsting for this matchup. What do you expect they can prove?
Yeah, Black Eagles definitely have the athleticism to compete with any side in this mixed division. And when they get firing, they can ride the lightning. You know, they're a team that like to huck. And some days they're coming off, some days it's not. And if they have one of their good days, they can compete with any team. A big task will be to shut down Mark Burton on this Mixtape team. Already 16 assists in this division. A real gunslinger in mixed ultimate in the US. So if they can try and shut him down, and also use, I think they might have the height matchup here. They have the likes of Peter Dennis, 6'7". Danny Strazer as well, way up in the 6-foot range. They have a lot of height in this team, and maybe that's how they're going to try and go at this game. Send up a few sky balls and hope they come down with it, because they generally do.
Do you believe Black Eagles have the mindset to pull off an upset against the #1 seed in the tournament?
I think they do, and I've been in this position before where you're the underdog, and often it takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders. And they look really up for this game, really excited. I think they'll be fearless going into this. A lot of pressure on the likes of Andrew Dick, who's had possibly a quiet tournament in a way so far. He's been on the O-line and just doing all the right things, but now is his time to shine. A man playing with Furious George this season, living in Vancouver, Canada, but has played many a season with the team from Scotland.
Well, as we get set for the opening pull of this mixed division round of 16 affair, let's tell you about what else has happened in the tournament this afternoon. In the men's division, the quarterfinals are set. Revolver needed to come from behind to beat Free Speed, and they will take on Chalk, who came from behind on Universe to beat General Strike 15-14. So Revolver, Chalk, winner of that game will face the winner of Goat and Nomadic Tribe in the semifinals. Nomadic Tribe taking down Cusp of Bologna, who was the higher seeded team. That was an upset. The other side of the men's bracket, Double Wide and Bad Skid, who beat Clapham on Universe Point in a heart-beating game that you just called next door. And on the other side of that bracket, Ring of Fire and Colony, a tasty matchup of the fiery Americans and the Australians with a couple American imports. So that's what the men's quarterfinals will look like. 2 of those games at 9 a.m., 2 at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the women's division, there are 2 All-American quarterfinals. Atlanta Ozone plays Molly Brown on one side of the bracket. On the other side of the bracket, Boston Brute Squad plays Fury. That's last year's 2 national finalists in the U.S. facing off in a quarterfinal at the World Championships. Ozone Molly Brown will face the winner of Riot and whoever prevailed in that Sixers Atletico game, which has not been officially reported yet. The winner of Brute Squad Fury will face the survivor of Revolution from Colombia and Huck from Japan. And we'll tell you about the mixed division bracket that is still shaking out its quarterfinal round. It is day 4, round 5 at the World Ultimate Club Championships. Mixtape and Black Eagles. Khalif El Salam to do the honors and gets us started. Mixtape in the white and Black Eagles in the darks. Straight stack offense for the team from Great Britain. James Glover scoobers it crossfield nicely. Michael Noblet. Early on in the tournament, these Black Eagles gave Philadelphia Amp a battle. They led them 4-3 in the first half. Amp did eventually pull away, but this is a team that is explosive That throw from Ellie Taylor over the head of Noblet with El Salam defending.
Yeah, some loose play here from Black Eagles in the opening point, showing they're not afraid to get creative. We saw that crossfield scuba in there. Lofty flick to the end zone, they didn't pay off.
Bird Abbott initiates downfield to Evan Klein. Emily Smith, and off the hands of her intended target, Jen Cogburn. Winner of this game will face the winner of Slow White and Frisky. USA and Australia going head-to-head this round as well. John Stainsby near the end zone. Open side, but out of reach. Oh, so close, off the fingertips on the bid. Would have been a nice grab, but a play that was there to be made. And if you're going to beat the #1 seed, the type of grab that could fire everyone up.
Yeah, it's been a shaky first point so far. Eleanor Taylor had to go horizontal to try and get that one in.
This shot, skying in the air, Emily Smith and El Salam, and it's ripped away by Noblet. And then given right back off the fingertips of Glover. And Klein to Donnie Clark. Mixtape begins with a break.
Shaky first point there from Black Eagles. Not really finding their rhythm. Need to settle it into this game quickly. But we saw what they can do in the air as that hook went up. Noblet came out of nowhere to take down the hanging disc, and I expect them to actually win the aerial battle, but that's not what Ultimate is about. It's about grinding out the unders, it's about hitting those swings, it's about concentration, decision making, and maybe lapses of concentration during that point prevents them from holding their offense, so that's an early break for Seattle.
Well, Seattle Mixtape advancing to the round of 16 after taking down another team from Great Britain. They beat Smog 15-7. Black Eagles are here after a 15-10 win over the Japanese team IKU.
Yeah, Black Eagles current British champions after beating Smog in the UK finals last year, 15-10.
Looking long for Cameron Agnew, but the defense up to the task. Reed Hendrickson. And so far, the new pickups from Mixtape making an impact. Donnie Clark, Emily Smith, Reed Hendrickson. Just a few new faces on this Mixtape team from a year ago. Only player that did not return from last year, Fiona McKibben. Here's Evan Klein, instrumental a season ago. Thought about the deep shot, instead goes underneath. Ari Lozano, part of that Mercer Middle School crew. Several of these Mixtape players have been playing since they were 12, 13 years old together. Drew Johnson looked off Lozano. Up the line, near the sideline. Oh, tremendous footwork. Z Chen keeps it inbounds and delivers a strike to Lozano. And the Black Eagles are looking a little stunned.
Ari Lozano with her third girl of the tournament. That's 2 in a row from them. And as you said, Black Eagles very shaky in these opening 2 points. And perhaps those new additions to the Seattle Mixtape bolstering up their roster and raising their game. And Black Eagles have 28 players on their roster, which is unusual for a lot of European teams here. They had been resting players, 3 or 4 per game up until this. All 27 active besides. Nicola Shaw, who suffered a concussion yesterday in is on the sideline but decided to stay out of this one. That's probably a good call with a head injury like that.
Well, the thing that Mixtape has that the Black Eagles don't is just dominant depth. We saw this GB team on the stream in their game against All 7, watched them play against AMP. They can be good in streaks. I think the question coming into this game is would they be able to make consistently great plays against the pressure defense that Mixtape is going to provide.
Now a zone look from Mixtape, trying to take away that deep option. Force them to play small ball, very passive zone.
Deep shot goes up. Callum Easton. And the bid in the back of the end zone, unsuccessful for John Stainsby.
Looked like synchronized divers right there. I think
did.
Two number 7s. Great form as they let out, neither getting the disc though.
Bert Abbott got hand blocked. And that gives Black Eagles a great opportunity for a short field. Andrew Boxall, that was a daring throw. It was deflected and it's incomplete off Easton's hands. Liam, I'm just not sure about that, to throw it that high when you're already on the goal line, and it was stall 4, stall 5.
Yeah, that was a very spicy throw. Didn't need to do that. And that is a great opportunity to settle this team. And like, they didn't reset once, this went straight for the goal. Red zone fever there.
Abbott gets open, up the line, and two wide open choices. Cam Bailey underneath. This disc going long, looking for Donnie Clark, and he can't make the catch.
Cameron Mackey getting huge there, and we see this is the strength of this Black Eagles team. They've looked a little off point so far in this game, but they have managed to make those big deep plays when asked of, so I think Mixtape need to adjust to that. Don't play in the hands of the height advantage that the Black Eagles have pretty much across the board, particularly the male players have an inch or two on the Seattle team.
See if the Black Eagles can take advantage of that, because so far they have not. Still very early, but back-to-back breaks have begun this game. Easton fires long again. An opportunity for Boxall, and he delivers.
Unbelievable grab. That's the kind of offense they play. It's unorthodox, but the likes of Boxall can make the play in the end zone. Get a bit of momentum their way, a bit of smiles from the Black Eagles team as they settle into this game.
What did the leaders of this Black Eagles team tell us right before the game? They said, look, everyone knows about the great American teams. We want to show them that Scottish Ultimate can play as well. Donnie Clark was on offense there. He couldn't come down with it. And then an opportunity for Boxall. Member of the Great Britain mixed team at U24s in Perth this past January.
Yeah, many of these Black Eagles players stemming from Edinburgh, going to university there or just living in the Scottish capital.
Even though the Mixtape folks are the home team, quote unquote, probably more fandom here on the sidelines. The Great Britain delegation supporting the Eagles as we see the Mixtape offense for the first time. Burton fouled on the mark. Danny Hoyle being physical right off the bat.
Yeah, it's going to be a tale of this game, whether they can shut him down. Looks like Hoyle was going flat in that force and trying to step into Burton as he tries to set up the hook, which he loves. They'll say Batman on the back of his jersey.
Yeah, he's Batman, and there's no Robin. Alex Duffel is considered the Joker. And if Duffel scores, we might see some theatrics. There's a, well, it would have been a turnover if it wasn't a foul. Mark Burton reminding us before the game that even though he's going to be 32 in October, he's the Peter Pan of Ultimate. He doesn't ever want to grow up. He describes himself as incredibly stubborn, hates to lose, incredibly competitive, and the anchor of this Mixtape offense. Burton wants the deep shot. How many times have we seen Burton to Hauser? And we see it again. Peter Dennis had the height advantage, but Hauser had the hops. It looks like Dennis is calling a foul.
Not sure about that. I saw Hauser being chased by Peter Dennis. An obvious height mismatch, but he does so well here. I'm not sure where the foul is there, Evan.
And the game advisors in the yellow have signaled the goal, so it is 3-1 Mixtape. Probably won't be the last time we see the Burton to Hauser pairing for the Mixtape offense.
I think Black Eagles have done their homework on this Mixtape team. I think they're the right things there, going flat on Burton, trying to stop the hooks, put on their tallest player, Peter Dennis, on Hauser. But just even doing so, they still got the hook off, and Hauser still somehow skied Dennis for the goal. But I don't know if you can trust them to get over Dennis every time.
No, I'm not. That theoretically should be a decent matchup. As good a matchup as anyone has against a guy like Hauser in this division. Mixtape, a perfect 6-0 in this tournament. Haven't allowed more than 8 goals in a game. They lead 3-1. Up 2 breaks. Nearly a D on the sideline, but now the deep shot goes up. Glover seeking Agnew. 3-2.
Black Eagles have found their range now, firing in all cylinders. Always wanting to set up that deep shot.
After getting broken twice, they've held their last 2 chances, using their size and athleticism and finesse. Agnew delivers.
Catch it early. Help us teach kids about cancer symptoms through Ultimate Frisbee clinics. Join us and speak up.
So Black Eagles have held a couple times, and it's a 1-goal game with the Seattle offense back on the field. Final round of the day. Tomorrow, quarterfinals, the men's and women's at 9 and 11. 2 men's at 9, 2 men's at 11. Same thing for the women. And is there a foul? Yes. Mixed finals, there will be 2 at 11 and 2 more at 1. And one of those mixed quarterfinals, I've always wanted to see Groot and Wildcard go head-to-head. And we're going to get to see it again in the quarterfinals. Who would have thunk that after what happened in dramatic fashion on Saturday night. Midday Thursday, Groot from the Netherlands and Wildcard from the USA will battle for a spot in the semifinals tomorrow here in Southern Ohio.
Yeah, Groot taking the scenic route to the quarterfinal.
You could put it that way. Ellen Goldberg's going deep. Another one of the mixtape additions makes an impact early in this round of 16 showdown. 4-2, Seattle in front.
It looks like Seattle may have an advantage on the female sides of things here in this matchup. Haven't seen either team call 4 females when it's their turn to decide gender. Looks like they're doing so now, as we see the WFTF hand signals suggest to do so. They have 15 seconds after a point is scored to signal that.
So Mark Burton with his second assist to Goldberg, who originally from Boston, now living in Seattle out of Brown and the University of Washington. And Burton just puts it on a platter for her. Mark Burton is a guy who has played some Ultimate in Ireland, and I understand you guys have interacted. What stands out most to you about his demeanor on and off the field?
He's a very fun guy to be around. I really wanted to come on here and bash him, but I'm going to have to speak kindly of him because he is an exceptional guy. Yeah, it's actually, he was born.
He was very nervous when he learned you were calling this game.
And he should be. I'm sure he's nervous as well about this big matchup. But yeah, Burton actually born in Belfast.
Yep.
His mother from the Emerald Isle, so was able to play for the Irish national team.
2 years ago in London. There's another D for the mixtape female core. Lonnie Wynn, I make that Ari Lozano, excuse me. And Abbott will pick up. El Salam looked off, Evan Klein wide open. El Salam slip making his cut. So here's Drew Johnson. Henry Fan to Bert Abbott. Johnson breaks the mark. Fan to the wide open El Salam. Mixtape is clicking right now in the round of 16.
11th goal for El Salam. Top goal scorer for this Mixtape team. Was just tied with Goldberg there on 10, but moves one ahead with 11 goals. And you can see why, a very athletic player.
Third break of the opening 7 points for Seattle Mixtape. And it appears the Black Eagles have taken a timeout. Gives us a chance to check out Mixtape's run to start this tournament. They beat Colorado from Germany 15-6, then the Mexican Condors 15-6. Their closest game was against Battleship from Canada 15-8. Then crushing Colombia's Macondo 15-4. They beat the first ever Uruguayan team to attend a WIFDIF World Ultimate Club Championships, Mixtape 15-3 over Charrua. And then bracket play began with 32 of the 48 teams in the mixed division battling for a title. Mark Burton's team dispatched Great Britain Smog 15-7. By the way, the 2 quarterfinal matchups that are already set in the mixed division, Groot and Wildcard, they're on the Mixtape side of the bracket. And on the other side of the bracket, Seattle BFG and Canada Crash. BFG will face a Canadian team for the second straight game after beating Anchor 15-6. It is possible, Liam, to have 2 Seattle teams in the finals of the World Championships if Mixtape and BFG both got there. To do so, BFG would have to get by AMP, who's probably the favorite in the bottom half of the bracket. Mixtape could possibly face Slow White in the quarterfinals, a team that has given them some trouble in the past. We've been so fortunate weather-wise here this week. Not a drop of rain during competition. This shot is off the fingertips again. Is that the third or fourth time that a Black Eagle has had the plastic on their hand and not make the play?
Yeah, they can't afford to keep doing that. A perfect throw. Has to go to his knees to catch it, but at this level, you need to be catching them. Looks like he's going to come off injured, maybe jarred his shoulder as he landed.
Came close to stopping rotation, too. He just could not hang on. Michael Noblet.
Kind of a difficult one, where it's not a full extension layout, but you still can't stay to your feet, so you end up kind of sliding on your knees, and just an awkward body position forces him to spill it out.
Z Chen will pick up the disc for Mixtape, marked by his number 4 adversary, Andrew Dick. And a good fake got Dick off balance. Meigs Kapostashi to Alex Duffel. He's the joker on this Mixtape team. One might say they're a team full of jokers. To Chen. El Salam was bolting deep, but Lexi Garrity was already in the deep space. Donnie Clark played for Seattle Sockeye for so long, now transitioning into the mixed division with Mixtape. It's interesting, 2 long-time Sockeye veterans, Donnie Clark and Mario O'Brien, each went to the different Seattle mixed World Championship contenders. Mario O'Brien playing with BFG.
Yeah, it seems like the mixed scene is very strong in Seattle. I think it definitely could happen. You have 2 Seattle teams there, and a lot of fun, both of them. You know, I know a few people on BFG, Lily Goo, bundle of laughs.
Oh, goodness. Wow. First Mixtape threw it away, and then Black Eagles tried to throw it away. GB will maintain possession here. Glover, who replaced Noblet, who got shaken up during the point. Little cheeky high release flick downfield. Dick takes the reset. Daniel Strasser to an open Lucy Barnes. Looking to the end zone. Glover had it taken away by a flying Khalif El Salam. He couldn't have read it any better. But Mixtape has been shaky on this particular point with their D-line offense, giving the Eagles a chance on the goal line. Over the stack, Agnew is there.
The safe hands of Agnew gets that one in. Again, more creative throws from the Black Eagles side. El Salam not rewarded for his fantastic play there. That's what he's known for. Came out of nowhere, snuck in for a great D, but then easily thrown away. He'd be unhappy with that.
Well, initially Duffel kept it alive, but there were a bunch of twists and turns on this point, Liam. Khalif El Salam. He'll be 25 years old this November. Been playing Ultimate since his middle school days on the south end of Seattle. He was trying to get a football off a roof, the story goes. The football was stuck on the roof, and one of his teachers, Sam Terry, handed him a Frisbee instead and said, use this. And that was the beginning.
And when you say football, do you mean a football or do you mean a hand egg? Because they're 2 different things. Was it a sphere, Evan?
It was, I think, an oblate spheroid. I think that's the shape of a football. pigskin.
We call them hand eggs in Ireland.
Claire Revere shooting it long. It's floating but fading out of bounds and out the back. Intended for Ellen Goldberg. So Black Eagles will have a break opportunity here. If they capitalize on it, it will change the complexion of this game.
We see again Seattle Mixtape choosing to have 4 females when it's their turn to decide gender. End zone on the right-hand side, deciding gender in the first half. I think that's a good tactic for them.
Hucking immediately. Boxall's throw floating. And it's held on to shy of the goal line by Chris Habgood. Blackie, oh, what are you doing? Why?
I'm sure his teammates echoing your thoughts exactly, Evan. That throw was not on, just trying to cram it in the cram hole, but it was clogged up with defenders and he just threw it out of bounds.
He was trying to ask his teammate to make an unbelievable grab on a laser. Not gonna get it done, Liam. As someone who wants to see a great game and wants to see Mixtape tested, that decision right there, a microcosm of the Black Eagles' struggles so far. Here's Claire Revere, one of the fastest women in the mixed division. Wynn was hand blocked at the point of attack by Kate Stafford.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think they have the number on the Black Eagles women's, but Kate Stafford stops me in my tracks with that fantastic hand block, getting it back for her side.
Stafford, a captain the past couple seasons at the University of Edinburgh. That's a good break, throwing under the reach of Bolton. Another shot to the end zone, this one intended for Barton, and again, no chance. The Black Eagles on break opportunities have been poor.
Yeah, they've had their fair share of miscues already in this game.
Claire Revere accelerating. You can see the speed separating from Helena Slater, and Revere calls for the timeout. So a long point here with Mixtape up 5-3. This is an 0 point for Seattle. GB has had plenty of chances, unable to capitalize on this sunny Wednesday afternoon at the World Ultimate Club Championships. Timeout on the field, Mixtape on the doorstep of the end zone.
If you want to be a high performer, eat like one. Start with a balanced diet and drink plenty of water. Good nutrition is one of the best ways to boost your mental and your physical health.
During the timeout, members of Seattle Mixtape singing the Addams Family song, except replacing the Addams Family with the Mixtape Family. And it's somewhat appropriate because this Mixtape team is creepy and kooky.
Who would be Sylvester?
It's been a long time since I've seen the Addams Family, but assuming the person is weird, probably Alex Duffel. Guy who played entire AUDL games with looking like Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight.
Mixtape looking to convert on this Wednesday evening.
And as easy as that, Lozano just, make that Lonnie win, just races up the line, and Revere hits her with ease. And you talked about the female mismatches Mixtape sensing that and going right to that out of the timeout.
Yeah, we saw Black Eagles play earlier this week against India side Stall 7, and they're very much using their whole roster there, but I just think this is an exceptional females on the Seattle Mixtape side, so it'll be a tactic of theirs to isolate them downfield.
Well, the last time Seattle Mixtape was playing at the national championships last year in Sarasota, it was a female battle in the final with Philly Amp and Seattle Mixtape. The top stars of Seattle going against Anna Thompson and Carolyn Normile and Raha Mozafari and Alicia Dixon. And it's just a handful of the Amp superstars that catapulted Philadelphia to the brink of a title. You have to have a winner, Liam, but as much as any game I've ever covered, that was a game that could have gone either way. Klein trying to make up the gap, but he can't do it. And he crashes into Glover as the Black Eagles score. Make it Agnew catching the goal for the Black Eagles from Scotland.
Wasting no time launching that one. Coming out in a vert stack and just a horizontal cut across there from Dickers to set up the deep shot. And that's how they like to play offense.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we're talking about what games we want to cover. And, well, at least the Black Eagles, we know they're going to throw it deep a lot, so they'll be excited.
Yeah.
And if they're connecting, they're a scary team to go against, because I think Mixtape probably came into this game knowing that they could win it 15-5, but it also could be 13-all if the Black Eagles are connecting.
Yeah, this game could easily be tied if they had caught their few drops they had in the end zone. Doesn't really feel like Mixtape have played that much better than them.
Gordon Kerr giving some words of advice on one side, and Mark Burton piloting the game plan on the other. So Burton will initiate. On to college in San Diego, where USAU Nationals 50th anniversary celebration will be this fall. Looking at Hauser immediately. He did it again. Hauser over the shoulder of Cameron Mackey, making it look easy. And a one-throw score makes it 7-4.
How does he do it, Hauser? Every time I see the disc go from Burton, I'm like, that is a bad decision. But he trusts Hauser immensely. They have a great connection, those two players. And Cameron Mackey was in a good position, but Hauser just times his jump, keeps position, and holds off the defender.
Burton has a knack, as good as any thrower in either division, of making the disc float at an angle where his receiver is in perfect position to attack.
I think he's quite an unusual style of throwing that I see, not something you see in Europe. It's quite like a baseballer. I know he played baseball in the past, and he kind of has that weird kind of slinging motion, a lot of arm. But yeah, as you said, he has incredible touch on his flick hooks, putting all sorts of angles on it.
Great Britain needs to hold, otherwise we'll be at the half with Mixtape doubling up the Brits. What do you see from this defense here?
Yeah, I think Mixtape are just trying to stop the hook. They saw last time it was a hook play set up, so just trying to slow him down. We see Lulu Boyd. Oh, not sure what happened there.
Miscommunication for sure. Here's El Salam. Abbott, who caught the championship-winning score on Universe Point last year in Sarasota, throws it to a sliding Hendrickson. Klein dishes it to the dump. Hendrickson had such a great season for the University of Washington this past spring. Hendrickson capable of making the spectacular play. Mixtape says he's slightly smaller, but slightly more coordinated than a grizzly bear.
Never seen a grizzly bear in real life. I have seen a brown bear. Or is it a black bear? The friendlier one anyway, the one that you chase away with pots and pans.
Okay.
Not the one where you play dead.
Abbott shooting it. Cogburn just out of her reach.
She ends up on a heap in the ground after a great bid. Asking a little too much of her there. And they don't go back into their zone. Mixtape, this time a more honest defense.
Clark on the mark. El Salam playing defense like he would love a deep shot to go up and test him. That shot testing Donnie Clark. Nice use of the body from Glover to stay between his defender and the disc. Now up the line, it's Agnew. He'll take the deep shot, testing Clark, but Cogburn came over, unable to get a hand on it. Black Eagles on the doorstep, firing cross field, and that's a nice throw. The vision to find Strasser. And the 24-year-old delivers the 5th goal for GB, and it's a 2-score game.
Danny Strasser, a well-known cameraman in the European Ultimate scene, showing his good on both sides of the lens there.
And you know, he started playing Ultimate for the same reason many. Free pizza was offered. So I remember, you know, Fury's Carolyn Finney, it was the same thing. She was a basketball player. There was a meeting about Ultimate. There was free pizza. She went for the pizza and then ended up winning a world championship at the World Games.
A well-known recruitment tactic. I wonder how many players here at the World Ultimate Club Championships have been recruited using the old pizza tactic. I even saw it in the college handbook manual for recruiting. That was like rule 101. This has been tried and tested, written down on paper for all to use.
Is there quality pizza in Ireland, by the way?
You know, we're getting there. We're getting there. I actually used to live with some Italian men in Dublin.
Okay.
And they had their own. I just built a Cobb pizza oven last week. My second one I've built.
You built your own pizza oven last week.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that, but that seems pretty relevant. I lived with a man who went to all ends to learn how to make the greatest pizza, and he said the first thing we needed to do is build our own Cobb clay oven. So we did that. It took kind of 3 days in kind of 2-week breaks if you wait a while for the clay to dry, and then.
Have you used it yet?
We have used, yeah, I've used both of them now. I built one for then. We have a community farm. We built one up there as well.
Turn out good?
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, you get up to pretty high temperatures, holds the heat for several hours. But yeah, also he used to cook his tomato sauce with cherry tomatoes, peel the skin, and then put them in a pressure cooker. That's the effort he went for his tomato sauce. And he can cook nothing else bar pizza. Any other time he'd make a meal, it was pasta, peas, and pesto, or an extravagant pizza in a homemade oven.
I feel like you could recruit any players from around the world to play for Liam Grant's Irish All-Star team by offering free pizza from your homemade oven.
It could be a new tactic. Usually I bribe them with other things, but I'll have to try the pizza.
So timeout was called, and the Black Eagles now launching the pull with Mixtape looking to take half. Again, 4 females out there. Kai Fong, Mark Burton, Brad Hauser, the males. Lonnie Wynn, Paige Kircher, Claire Revere, and Ellen Goldberg, the females. Burton. Third time the charm for the Black Eagles defense on the Burton huck for Hauser.
Yeah, Habgood aware of what was coming. It was actually a few yards behind, but was able to get up in the lane a little low from Burton there. You see he puts his hands up and takes responsibility for that one, because if he had thrown like he did earlier with the big around, he might have got it around the Scottish defender.
Black Eagles trying to get one of the 3 Mixtape breaks back. Mixtape jumped in front 2-0 on defense, broke again to lead 5-2. Can Great Britain sneak within 1? For that to happen, the D-line would have to convert for the first time. Only patient for so long, and it's ripped away by Fong. A type of decision that works against teams from other places, but not against Seattle Mixtape. And the Seattle mistake is going to open the door to a Black Eagles break once again.
Let's see if we can get a better look from this Black Eagles end zone offense. They've been very spicy so far, and I think they just need to play some good ultimate. They have the athletes to get free. They have the throws. They just be patient, wait for that opening, stretch the defense.
The reset for Habgood. The around for Tate. To the end zone, in and out of the hands of Shona Whiteley. Goodness gracious. If her defender had knocked it away, she could have called a strip because she stopped rotation, but just could not maintain possession.
Yeah, Whiteley, one of the best cutters in Scotland, and I'm surprised to see her drop that one. I thought they were going to isolate her in that end zone.
Hauser sending it over the pack, but out of the reach of Goldberg. So this is by far the longest point of this first half.
Yeah, 2 turnovers apiece here from either side, and in a pre-quarter.
The third turnover for Mixtape. Great Britain trying to break. So 5 total turns on the point so far. Hauser battling for position, but it's Habgood who comes down with it. Will this be the opportunity that works? Yes! It was deflected too. Kircher got a piece of it, but not enough. And Stafford hauls in the break for Black Eagles.
Huge point for Black Eagles there. Having to get away with a bit of Mac line in the end zone, but they'll take it. Prevent Mixtape going to half.
All right, we've got ourselves a game, Liam. This Black Eagles team's hanging around.
Yeah, Kate Stafford isn't taking no for an answer. Already got a great hand block earlier on in the half. Now a goal to her name.
And a timeout taken by Mixtape. After taking a haymaker for the first time in this game, 3 turnovers for the Mixtape O-line on that point. And on the third try of that point, Great Britain converts. Again, the winner of this game takes on the winner of Slow White and Frisky. That game going on right now. Other round of 16 mixed games. Groot beat Piewagon 15-10. Wildcard beat Columbia's Voltaje by the same score. BFG a 15-6 winner over Anchor. Canada's Crash took down New Zealand's Marvelous on Universe, 15-14. The other game's going on now, Amp in Colorado. I'm gonna let you pronounce this name for me.
Hässliche Erdwerkel.
Hässliche Erdwerkel, the ugly aardvark. At least you told me that's what it translates to.
It does indeed. I wasn't fooling you.
Against Café de Luida. So Amp will face either the aardvark from Germany or the Japanese mixed team Café de Luida in the quarterfinals tomorrow. Either 11 or 1.
And I'm quite hopeful of that Hässliche Erdwerkel team.
Yeah, you saw them yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I've watched them quite a lot this tournament. I know they went through the first day or two with only conceding 1 break on their O-line. They are very typical German team in that they're efficient in their offense. They don't take any crazy throws. They have their cutters isolated, and they're very hard to stop. And they may not be the best players in the world, but when you play a good system like them, you can make it to quarterfinals, semifinals of a tournament like this.
Well, it's possible that it could be an all-German quarterfinal. For that to happen, Colorado would have to upset Amp, which would be a big surprise. But we've seen crazier things happen.
Word on the grapevine is Nikki Spiva playing with Amp, is that correct?
That is accurate.
And hearing that news, I'd almost put them as the favorite for this tournament.
Yeah,
I'm sure Mixtape would say otherwise.
You know, Spiva was the difference in helping Amp seize momentum back from the Black Eagles when Great Britain threw a punch in that first half. Mixtape, again trying to take half. They led 7-4, has been trimmed to 7-6. Burton fouled on the mark by Hoyle. Burton's not a guy that will shy away from the physicality, but who knows, maybe the call and the stoppage disrupted the flow enough. Abramovich couldn't make the catch on the high toss. And could the Black Eagles tie this game up? Oh, wow. Little alligator arms, and Noblet still hung on. And now into the red zone. Stall count rising, the reset sneaks past Burton. Up the line and not in. It's a pick, at least initially.
There was a pick in the stack there, Evan, but I don't think it affected the up the line cut. So it'd be unfortunate for Eagles if this one goes back. I think that's what they're discussing now.
My issue with this is that if you hear the pick call, as a defender, you're inclined out of spirit to stop. But it's gonna count, and Black Eagles have broken on consecutive points to tie this game up at 7-all.
And earlier on in this game, Eagles were dropping a lot of passes, but now seeming to catch everything. Some great hands from the Beagles in that point. And now with the opportunity to break for a half, Burton needs to take hold of this game, and it's a tough matchup with him with Danny Hoyle, who seems to be getting very physical on the mark. Bit of argy-bargy, and he hasn't been calling it too much, Burton, particularly downfield as they get close to him. As you said, he usually takes advantage of that. A very tight mark, he'll usually step around them or ride the hit and take the free shot.
Still an impressive showing of resilience from these Black Eagles. Of course, that is their MO. They finished second at UK Nationals both in 2015 and 2016 before winning that title in 2017 to qualify for the World Championships here in Ohio. Burton will catch this pull, and nice job by Andrew Dick getting down to initially cut off that first throw. Hauser to Burton. Sometimes you get the sense that Burton and Hauser could play ultimate together blindfolded. Here's the deep shot. Abramovich on her horse, and she bids, and she scores! Abby Abramovich delivers. And the Boise native takes it to half. 8-7. Mixtape is up a break. They'll receive to start the second half. We've got ourselves a game. Mark Burton, plenty of successful throws, but then a few errors. And that opened the door for Black Eagles to get back into it. It was 7-4. Mixtape takes half, 8-7 in the mixed round of 16.
There is a place where we are us at our best.
A place where everyone is welcome.
Regardless of age, shape, skin color, or anything else that tries to box people in.
A place where we defy the odds.
And even defy gravity.
A place that knows grit, knows grace, knows bright lights, and knows empty bleachers.
A place where we remember to laugh.
Where we learn to trust.
And eventually, even learn to fly.
A place where character, community, and competition
are all as balanced as a disc in flight.
That place isn't in a stadium or on a field.
That place is in the spirit of our players.
Because we don't just play ultimate, we live ultimate.
Seattle Mixtape leading by 1 break and 1 score, 8-7 Seattle, and they will receive to start the second half. But first, let's take a moment and talk about these 15 points, the most you can see in a half of ultimate if we're playing a 15. Liam Grant, up and down play from the Black Eagles, and you're telling me during the break, you're not that surprised. That's what they do.
Yeah, this is classic Black Eagles. Make it astonishing plays one moment, but then in the other make terrible decisions. And like, you know, they've thrown away a few discs, a lot of unforced errors, drops in the end zone, but they're still only 1 point behind the US champions. So kudos for that, and maybe they'll be happy about this first half, considering they haven't played that well, but they're still in it.
Yeah, 2-0 with back-to-back breaks and then 5-2. It felt like this could become a blowout with Khalif El-Salam flying around, Mark Burton and Brad Hauser in sync. What in your mind changed? Was it more about Mixtape losing its rhythm, or did Black Eagles up their intensity?
Well, Black Eagles started catching the disc, but then also that Burton-Hauser connection wasn't going to work forever. I just felt like Black Eagles have enough pressure in that deep game to stop that a couple of times, and I think that's what happened. Also, I think the Black Eagles female players stepped it up, particularly Kate Stafford, having a great first half. No Nicola Shaw, unfortunately. And yeah, we've yet to see Lucy Barnes really inflict her prowess in this game. One of the more experienced players on this side, has represented GB Mixed, notably winning a European gold medal for that mixed side. So yeah, I think the difference is just they started catching discs in the second half.
Such a simple game. You just need to catch the disc. Entertaining first half of Ultimate. Mixtape behind 3 Mark Burton assists, 2 Brad Hauser goals, in front 8-7, up a break at the break. Few minutes away from the start of the second half in this round of 16 showdown between the #1 seed in the tournament, reigning USAU national champions Seattle Mixtape and Great Britain Black Eagles. And it's funny, Liam, there's a similar narrative for both of these teams at their national levels, because before Mixtape was a champion, they endured a couple heartbreaking losses in the finals, finally winning it all in cathartic, climactic fashion last year over AMP. These are two teams that are going to keep battling and not give up. And I certainly am more familiar with Mixtape, but you imagine with Black Eagles. From the Mixtape perspective, this is a team that is relentlessly confident, overconfident in the way they go about their business. And even though they gave up back-to-back breaks, I don't think that's going to change too much for them.
No, yeah, they're definitely a confident side and a lot of fun. They keep their chin up no matter what happens. And yeah, I think they just need to change their style a little bit. They like to play a hucking game, particularly Burton, playing the quarterback, but they're going to get caught out a couple of times in those height matchups. No matter how good Burton is at throwing, eventually one or two are going to sit in the air and Black Eagles are going to take ones down. While if they play, particularly through their female cutters and grind out the unders, I think they'll have the advantage.
Seattle beginning the second half with 4 males on the line: Bolton, Fong, Hauser, and Burton. Claire Revere, Grace Noah, and I believe Ellen Goldberg out there for Seattle.
Yeah, Goldberg and Revere basically getting anything they want downfield, but maybe haven't impacted themselves as much as they can in this game. I'd like to see them just take over.
It feels like they could do that with their speed. Not sure Black Eagles have anyone to match them.
I think you look at maybe Whiteley as their fastest player, and then also Lulu Boyd, but maybe playing a lot of O points. So yeah, that'd be what I'd be saying if I was the coach of Seattle Mixtape. Get them two to take over.
That disc over the head of Burton. He's deep in his own end zone. First catch to Hauser, still at the goal line.
Yeah, confusion there as who was going to catch the ball as Burton puts his hands up. There was no one back with him.
This is Fong. Burton elevates to keep it alive. Moves the disc for Revere. Oh, pretty good handler defense. In fact, it was great from Cameron Mackey.
Keeping the momentum gain there in their first half. They've come out fiery. A short field to break.
Mark Burton is so slippery on those resets. That was an impressive block from Mackey. And Black Eagles pay it off. It's bookends for the big fella from Glasgow.
Burton caught napping in the back of the end zone there. I don't think he realized that this was about to come in. Mackey just put on the turbo boosters and grinded one out to the open side. Andrew Dick picks up the assist. Won't get one easier than that.
No, that was too easy. And how about this? 3 breaks to start the game for Mixtape, and now 3 breaks back. And we're even at 8 apiece. Mixtape obviously has the advantage of receiving the disc here. So Black Eagles would still need 1 more break to win.
And notably, Black Eagles definitely have the advantage of momentum, which is such a huge thing in this game of Ultimate. So hard to say who's going to step it up here. Tied at 8s.
Both teams are an even 3 of 8 in break chances. And this has been a very streaky game so far. Burton stays out there. Nick Dare on the field. We haven't seen too much of Nick. Cam Bailey Hauser as well. Kircher, Abramovich, and Wynn. Didn't have a reset. She needed Dare to come back to the disc. And there's a collision. Thought Dare was going to catch his mark with an elbow, and he's the one who took one in the chops.
Yeah, him and Shaw getting close and personal there. I just don't expected him to spin around so fast when he caught the disc, and Shaw was there in close contact. I don't think it was a foul on the mark, really. Looked like Shaw was quite stationary.
Liam, I've got another off-the-wall idea. I think there should be a different guideline in terms of resolving disputes. I think disputes that don't impact turnovers should be resolved in 10 seconds. Like, this is about whether the stall's at 2 or 0 or whether the stall's at 5.
Yeah, players need to recognize that. I don't think that's too much of a hot take. And just recognizing, does this call influence the game? And if it doesn't, let's just stop talking.
Burton gets it right back. Multiple cutters up the line, and Burton finds Lonnie Wynn, squeezing it through the tight space. And it's 9-8. Mixtape stays in front.
Yeah, that's a typical Mark Burton we know and love there. Didn't have the greatest last point, but goes back out there and steadies the ship.
This team is capable, Mixtape, of playing great team-oriented ultimate, but there will be times when Mark Burton will sense he needs to go every other down the field with his O-line.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that. We see them play that give-go style offense in that point, and it worked out very well. And that's another weapon in Mark Burton's toolbox, is that give-go style ultimate.
Khalif El Salam will pull. Speaking of confidence, there's no one more confident than this kid. El Salam, a few years back, said he wants to be the best player in the world when he's 27 years old. He'll be 25 this November. Oh, Cogburn got that first from my naked eye coming to the disc. Now, did she foul over the shoulder? That's a possibility, but let's see if the cameras saw what I saw. Well, it looks much closer, seeing it on replay.
Yeah, now these are one of the situations where I think players do need to talk about it. Oh, that angle may be a bit more in agreement with you, Evan.
Asking the game advisor his opinion. Looks like he's saying it's too close to call.
Yeah, I think sometimes the game advisor's opinion is very valid if it's a line call and they're standing close by, but he doesn't have as good a perspective as the players do in that instance. So I think that's what he's telling them, like, you know, you need to decide that yourselves.
Yeah, to be honest, I regret being as sure as I sounded when it happened, because the replays, I feel like, were both inconclusive. There's a foul on the mark there. Henry Fan counting on Strasser. Clark with an insane layout D. El Salam. Mixtape trying to seize control back in this game after being 3 breaks ahead in the first half. El Salam squeezes it through. Lozano bluffs the reset, turns back upfield, turns to the backfield. Alex Duffel. Somebody's open because there was a poach, and that's a nice throw. But was there a foul call? It appears Cam Agnew thinks Khalif El Salam pushed off.
Just going back to that great play by Donnie Clark. Possibly Stainsby kind of angle his cut a bit too much.
And it's gonna be overruled. They discuss it, and it's determined a goal and a mixtape break for Khalif.
Yeah, and they get a break back there. Not so sure about that late stall throw, kind of almost into the middle of the stack. As we see Clark again here coming around the corner. I think Stainsby left too much of an angle for Clark to come in the inside lane. When you feel your defender hot on your heels, you got to close that one off, get your body in the way.
Ooh. If we could see that one more time, a little bit slower. I thought I saw what looked like an extended forearm from El Salam, which would tell me that that might be how he got open. Take a look at this. Watch the arm of El Salam.
You can definitely see where the Black Eagles player is coming from there. And quite an unorthodox offensive shot there to begin with anyway. But the goal will stand.
Hendrickson racing down on the pull, and his hustle will go for naught because the pull sails out of bounds. Glover will take it to the brick mark. Haley Dalman at the deepest point in the stack. Cameron Agnew coming to the open side from the second to last spot, and they throw it behind Agnew. It was like a fade route to a receiver in football.
It was actually a hand block by Henry Fan, who changed the direction of the disc.
And then a better D securing it. Johnson looking for El Salam. Lozano was there too, but Khalif takes charge. And that's back-to-back breaks for El Salam, and he wants more.
A visionary throw there. Putting it up super high, giving Salam loads of time to run it in. I wasn't quite sure what she was thinking initially, but has eyes for the end zone there.
He was all alone. So Mixtape has retaken control, and Black Eagles appear to have called timeout.
Yeah, good decision by Black Eagles. As momentum shifts towards the Seattle team, they want to try and stop that run.
Timeout call by Black Eagles. We'll take it to Mixtape. Up a couple breaks, 11-8.
Do you want to avoid overuse injuries? Cross-train. Get your exercise routine out of a routine and mix it up with a variety of activities. Your muscles, tendons, and joints will thank you later.
A guy who's never lacking energy. I'm not sure Cam Bailey ever sleeps. He's just constant at 11. 24/7. Cam Bailey. He's got attitude, he's got opinions, he's got energy, and his Thundersticks are trying to fire up his teammates right here. They lead 11-8 after back-to-back breaks. El Salam involved in scoring both of them. For the #1 seed in the tournament, became the first mixed division team to win the Triple Crown on the USA Ultimate Tour. That's winning the US Open, winning the Pro Championships, formerly known as the Pro Flight Finale, and winning the club championships, all three in the same year. Stainsby sending it long. Dowman ran out of room. Khalif Al-Salam made sure that Dowman had no chance to make the play in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, possibly a little bit scared by Khalif running in there. Haley Dowman, part of the GB under 24 setup.
Abbott takes the reset, quickly gets it back. And a good two-person game there between Abbott and Fan. Up the line, tough grab made by Abbott, and she's feeling confident. Will greatness be conserved? Indeed. Easily picked off by Noblet. That throw high but hung on to. Noblet reaches, uncorks a bomb. Strasser hauls it in for the Black Eagles.
Looks like there might have been a pick call on the field, but they're happy to let this goal stand. Strasser going deep from the handler position, catches them off guard.
That was a gorgeous throw.
And you know, I've had many coaches in my time tell me, like, don't throw a huck in the same third of the field. But clearly the Black Eagles ignoring that advice. And when you have creative throwers like Boxall or Burton on Mixtape, you can get away with that if you put enough angle on it.
I think it's something coaches say to preach patience. But I'm with you. As someone who's thrown plenty of ill-advised same third hucks, there's a compelling reason to keep doing it.
Often what happens is it flies over the head of the receiver and becomes very difficult to read. But it's also difficult for your defender to read it as well. So often ill-advised, but when you have the throws like this Black Eagles team do, we see the game advisor signaling offside, but Mixtape.
Yeah, it wasn't a great pull, so. Noah swings it over to Abramovich. One-handed grab for Hauser. Thought about sending it to Revere deep, instead finds her under for a 20-yard gainer. And now Fong looking to the end zone, and it's attacked well by Abramovich. The defense of Stafford was closing in, but Abramovich does it again. The former Alpine skier, Abramovich, finding a home on this Mixtape squad that's in pursuit of a world title.
Yeah, Mixtape just cascading down the field there. Abramovich with a good catch under pressure, and immediately he has a pat in the back to Kate Stafford for her good defensive effort. Did well to avoid any body contact. And there's been great spirit in this game so far.
There really has. And not that there hasn't been intensity or even physicality, because that's been paramount as well.
Yeah, I think the most important thing with spirit is just the attitude of the players. It's clear they're willing to listen to each other, be very respectful in how they come to decisions. And yes, there has been contact, there has been calls, but overall, an enjoyable game to watch and be a part of.
By the way, an update in this mixed division. The winner of this game will take on Slow White out of Boston. Slow White 15-6 over Frisky from Australia. So it could be an all-American quarterfinal at the top of the mixed bracket with Slow and Tape. You're almost surprised when the huck doesn't go up with this Black Eagles team. Doesn't holster for very long. Stainsby had it go off his hands into Dix. Are you kidding me?
Stainsby picking up a cheeky assist there for our stat keepers to take down. Got away with that one, and Black Eagles explode on the sideline. Probably more so if Stainsby had caught it initially.
Ridiculousness. Stainsby should have had it, and then the wobbling disc hauled in by the second guy going deep. Black Eagles hanging around by the skin of their teeth.
That's Andrew Dick in support. Not the first time they've had this Macline tactic come into play here.
Although last time it was Mixtape that deflected it. So it's still very much a game, 12-10. Mixtape has broken 5 times. Black Eagles have broken 3. Four male offensive players out there for Mixtape. Fong, Hauser, Burton, and Dare. Noah, Kircher, and Abramovich completing the Seattle O-line. One Seattle mixed team has already advanced to the quarterfinals. BFG, a 15-6 win over Canada Anchor. Foul called. Burton colliding with Easton. Last round, Liam, we saw the #1 seed in the men's division tested. San Francisco Revolver was pushed by Free Speed. Free Speed took half 8-7, led late, but Revolver pulled away, I think scoring the last 4 points. Fong back to Dare, and a big swing to Noah. Dare keeps it alive. Oh, tough grab there made by Kircher. And into the tight space, Burton was undercut, and he calls a foul, and he appears to be all right.
That is the second time that Easton has bundled Mark Burton into the grass, and you can tell he's a little unhappy about the physicality he's receiving.
It's a type of play that in the USAU observer system would likely merit a card. Dare. Oh, nice little double move there by Burton. He's got tons of space in the end zone, and he's frustrated that no one's cutting for him to that open space. So he goes to the under. Kircher finally looks for the reset. Burton struggles to get open, but Fong shakes free, floats it to the end zone, and landing in bounds was Abramovich. Abby Abramovich does it again, her 3rd goal of the game for Mixtape. And the lead is 13-10.
I think Mixtape are doing very well to keep their cool here. With this contact coming from the Black Eagles team.
Seattle Mixtape now 2 points away. Abramovich, her 3rd goal of the game. And that's the difference, 13-10, Mixtape.
Heat illness strikes kids and adults alike during summer workouts. Watch for muscle cramps, fever, nausea, headache, weakness, or feeling faint. Act fast to get cool and get fluids.
Black Eagles just received the pull, trailing 13-10. Downfield, Agnew gains a good chunk of yards to Strasser, but he was open as a result of a pick. Or, no, he's going to keep the disc. El Salam being charitable. I think it was a pick called a catch up. Strasser downfield, another large chunk. Agnew floats it right to the poach, but it's caught anyway. Cogburn was there, but it's ripped down by Dick. And then into the end zone for Whiteley. I beg your pardon, Dowman there for the Black Eagles score.
Yeah, always dangerous when you peel off for the D like that. You leave someone like Dowman wide open for the goal. And they've tried that a couple of times, and I just think the height of the Eagles players nullified their poach sometimes. And we see Black Eagles have found the rhythm. They're getting their 0 points a bit more now, but they have to get some break back.
Philadelphia Amp has moved on to the quarterfinals, 15-9 over Germany's Colorado. They'll face the winner of Haslisch Erdferkel.
That was pretty good. That was good, Evan.
And Café de Luida. Black Eagles need multiple breaks. You can't get multiple at a time, so they get one first. At the moment, 2 spots remaining in the quarterfinals. One will be taken by either Mixtape or Black Eagles, the other Erdferkel or Café de Luida. Snagged by a fan, and he hammers it back from the stands, from the seated position. Sign that guy up. He held his solo cup in his hand the whole time. First offensive point of the game where we don't see Mark Burton on the field. And I take that back. Jesse Bolton just started with a disc. Burton is out there on the far side. Nice job by Wynn coming to the disc. Hauser bumped. And Easton in danger of fouling out of the game if the rule set was different. 3rd or 4th foul he's been called for. Lefty hammer. Burton comes back to it. And he played through another call right there.
Yeah, it's going to have to go back to him since he's called foul. Again, it seems to be the same 2 players causing pressure on those marks that Seattle aren't happy about.
Bolton to the sure-handed Revere. Over to Wynn. Burton thought about Hauser. Now goes the other way. Not in yet, but there's Claire Revere, and she's wide open. And she's got Mixtape within 1 goal of the quarterfinals.
This now a big ask for Black Eagles. They're going to have to dig deep if they want to come out of a W in this one. Needing 4 breaks. Or 1 hold and 3 breaks against the US champions. A big ask. And we've seen Mark Burton now start off almost downfield in the last 2 points, not being part of that handler set. And he's done this in the past. I remember watching him for Sockeye playing as a cutter. I guess more like a mid-row, but well able to go deep if needed. But then he kind of took over as the handler position once they got outside the end zone. So I actually think that's a good tactic, having Burton cutting downfield. A very intelligent player, knows how to get free when needed. And it seems like they decided not to go for the deep game. Not many deep looks in the second half. So having Burton downfield is probably a better option.
Well, Mixtape has never trailed in this game. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead, stretched it to 5-2. They were up 7-4 when Black Eagles went on a 3-0 run. Deep shot goes up from Agnew. And unless there was a foul on the throw, which there doesn't appear to be, Mixtape is going to have glorious field position to try to punch their ticket to Thursday's round of 8.
Yeah, mortal sin from Agnew there. Whatever about throwing the hook, but just throwing it straight out of bounds gives them such a short field.
We were tied at 7s. We were tied at 8s. Mixtape broke at 9-8 to go ahead 10-8. Broke again to go up 11-8. We've been trading ever since. Henry Fan to El Salam. The reset. Fan to the end zone. Mixtape is moving on. 15-11. Seattle survives against Great Britain's Black Eagles.
El Salam brings the ship into port. Great end zone offense. Valiant effort from the Black Eagles. Kept the game exciting the whole way through, but just the experience and prowess of this Seattle Mixtape team shone through in the end.
This was a fun game. Just imagine Black Eagles will go back and watch this game and think about all the missed opportunities in the first half, the discs off the hands, the throws out of bounds. But Mixtape was pushed far more than they had been in the entire tournament. No team had scored more than 8 against the Mixtape team prior to today. Black Eagles get 11, but it's still not enough, as Mixtape prevails 15-11 on the showcase field to wrap up this Wednesday afternoon, early evening at Worlds in Ohio. So a quick couple thoughts, Liam, about quarterfinal Thursday that's on tap beginning at 9 a.m. We will have, I believe, a men's quarter and a women's quarter at 9, and then a men's quarter and a women's quarter at 11, and then 2 mixed quarters at 1. Wall-to-wall coverage. There's a couple All-American women's quarterfinals. Ozone, Molly Brown, Fury, and Brute Squad. There is an All-American mixed quarterfinal with Mixtape and Slow White. We've got Ring and Colony. We've got Goat and Nomadic Tribe. What are your primary thoughts heading into tomorrow?
My thoughts are there's actually been a few upsets, and so people who've made it to the top 8 I wasn't quite expecting, particularly Shaq from France, who had a kind of poor run in Europe this year, particularly at Windmill, have now found themselves getting further than Clapham. So I'm interested to see how they get on in the top 8. Also,
they play Revolver.
That's going to be a tricky one.
That's their prize for the comeback win against General Strike.
But as we've seen, like, Free Speed hung with those Revolver team for quite some time. So, and 4 years ago, Clapham doing the same. So they're not unbeatable. They're pretty close to being unbeatable, but they are not. They are human after all. But yeah, plenty of exciting matchups as we get into the business end of this tournament.
Well, we appreciate you spending some of your Wednesday with us, and we hope you're gearing up along with us for what should be a thrilling weekend of Ultimate at this beautiful complex in Lebanon, Ohio. Final score here in this mixed round of 16 action. Seattle Mixtape, last year's USAU champs, 15. Great Britain Black Eagles, the UK mixed champs from 2017-11. Mixtape, a 4-goal win. We're on to quarterfinal Thursday at the World Championships. For Liam Grant and our entire crew, Evan Lepler saying good night from Ohio. We'll talk to you tomorrow. It should be a heck of a lot of fun. So long, everybody.
Catch it early. Help us teach kids about cancer symptoms through Ultimate Frisbee clinics. Join us and speak up.